Hey guys, welcome back, and today I'm going to be talking about my favourite Star Wars species. I think all the Star Wars species are really interesting, and I want to talk about my favourites today and kind of why they're favourites, why their designs are my favourites, and yeah, I'll do more in-depth videos one day about them. So here is my favourite Star Wars species. So to start off, my first favourite Star Wars species is the Zabrak. So obviously the Zabrak are native to Iridonia and Dathomir, and I just think their design is the coolest one of the Star Wars species. Obviously we have Darth Maul, who's a Zabrak, and I just really like the species. So I like the Night Brothers. I just really like, kind of the whole design with their facial patterns, and I really love the horns that they have. I just think they look super cool. They look intimidating. They're kind of still humanoid, but look a lot more cool than just normal humans do. I just think they're so interesting to look at, and they are my favorite species, and I wish they were included more in kind of the games. If you could do a game, you could customize and choose your kind of species, because I would be a Zabrak personally, because I feel it'd be very interesting to play with them as well as other species. But yeah, these are my favorite species. I just think they look so cool, so interesting, and yeah, just overall really good. My second favorite Star Wars species, kind of a basic one, but it is a Togruta. I just think, their look, with the montrals and the head tails look really cool. I like the patterns all over the head tails. I like the patterns on their face. I think they're so interesting. They look very regal and royal. Ahsoka is one of my favourite characters, so that might influence it a little bit, but I do really like their design and I really like how they look. We definitely need to learn more about all these different species, because I'm very interested and I would information just purely on the different species. And there are still humanoid species, which I quite like the humanoid species rather than the other ones. I think they're personally my favourite. But yeah, I just think their design is really interesting, really cool, and overall it just works really well in the Star Wars universe. Next, my third favourite species of Star Wars is the Twi'lek, and obviously these again are humanoid species with head tails, but obviously these guys don't have the montrals, their head tails kind of span backwards like that. Obviously again, these skin colours can be all different colours, which I think is really cool. I think it's a lot more interesting than just having normal skin coloured. All these species are so interesting to learn more about, and I'd love to have these species as more of a main character rather than just humans, in my opinion, because I feel they're a lot more interesting to learn about and follow the story of. The next Star Wars species I really like is the Mikian. I think I'm saying that right. Native to the planet Mikia. Yeah, they have a main head of tendrils, and they're kind of yeah, it's kind of a mane of head tendrils, which I think is really interesting. It's a lot different to the actual head tails that the others two have. Yeah, I think they look quite kind of sea creatures rather than land creatures. But I think that's really interesting, really cool. Usually they have pink skin tones or maybe yellow. But I just think they're really interesting. Another one of my favourite Star Wars species, the Trandoshan. And these species are so reptilian, and they really remind me of dinosaurs, which I think is really cool. They look a lot different to the rest of the species on this list. They're a lot less human in the face and a lot more dinosaur, which I think is really interesting. I just really like the overall design of it not being so human, and we have actually seen bits of Trandoshans in Star Wars, in the universe, but I really want to see more again, and I just really want somewhere that we focus solely kind of on the other species rather than human species. And yeah, we learned that one of them regenerated an arm, so it's kind of like lizards in that sense, which I think is also really cool. You can very much see where the inspiration for that species has been taken from, so that's why I really like them. The last species that I'm going to talk about today is the Zigerian, which is the humanoid feline species, and this species is so interesting to me because they're very feline, but it makes them, they're still very pretty in a sense, you know what I mean? The felineness works really well with the design of them. They're from Zigeria, which is where their name comes from. Well, most of these species kind of their name is derived from their planet. And yeah, they're a horned canine species, which I think is really interesting. I really like how it's derived from an animal again. which I just think is really cool, and it works really well like in the universe because there's so many different species. Some are gonna look similar to kind of like the animals that we have on our planet, so I really like that they kind of incorporated that. As you can tell, like my favorite types of species are the humanoid ones. Each one of these species, I think I went through 6 species. I love every single one of them. Like they're so interesting, and like they all look so different, but like you can tell they're Star Wars, you know what I mean? Like they all look like they're from the same universe, but like not from the same planet. And I just really like it. Like I really want more focus on them, because I just want to learn so much more about them and about like the planets, about all the ecosystems, you know, the culture of it all. I just think it's very interesting to learn about because Star Wars obviously has this like huge universe that you can get immersed into, and like you want to learn as much as possible like about that universe, don't you? So yeah, these were my favorite Star Wars species. I just wanted to like talk about and like kind of let you guys know what I like in Star Wars. So I want you guys to let me know what your favorite species are in Star Wars, because there is so many to choose from. And you know, I might do a video about the ones I dislike and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys think, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about Star Wars species. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!